Yo, if you haven't noticed, there's been some sports analysts doubting the Clippers. Um, did you guys notice that Clippers went on the 3-game losing streak, and the whole world's coming to an end because the Clippers lost 3 games in the regular season? Mind you, there's 82 games in the regular season, but we're gonna go overboard. We're gonna go a little crazy because the Clippers lost 3 games. Listen, all right, you're led by the Terminator, all right. And then you got Paul George as your sidekick, you know, um, and you got a bunch of good pieces around you, good role players. I think this team was born and bred for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it that I think this team is going to make it to the finals if they're fully healthy. Now, keep in mind, fully healthy, okay? This means all those guys have to be playing. If Paul George is not playing, the Clippers will lose. They will not make it to the finals. So when I say the Clippers are going to win the championship, I'm assuming that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George will be fully healthy with that supporting cast. I think the only ones that could beat the Clippers are the Clippers if they're fully healthy. All right. Um, LeBron James is great, but I still don't think he can handle Kawhi Leonard at this stage in his career. Um, but let's talk about the fun guy, the Terminator, the Claw, you know, all of this stuff. He is by far the best two-way player in the league. This guy's averaging 27 points a game. He plays great defense. He locks down great players. I mean, sometimes he gets cooked. This is what happens to great defensive players. Sometimes it's not their night. Sometimes they just get manhandled. Okay, but for the most part, I think Kawhi Leonard does come through more often than not. All right, and um, he has those big hands that I don't know. He kind of just grabs the ball with those big hands and just glide it through. You know, um, I think that the Clippers reports are saying that Clippers have chemistry issues that they don't like Kawhi Leonard. I don't know where that's coming from. He's the fun guy. No, but I think maybe things are a little bit confusing for Kawhi Leonard because you see him showing emotion sometimes. This is something he barely does, is show emotion. So this comes when you're not used to playing with each other too much. I think the Clippers' biggest flaw is the fact that, right, you could call it load management or injuries, that they haven't played long enough together to be called a great team per se. I mean, I think they're ranked 12 through 15 in defensive rating, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're at 15. I mean, or 12, one of the two. I mean, it's just not coming back to me right now. But I do know for a fact that this team is a championship contender. Um, I think they're better than the Rockets, um, the Nuggets, and all these other teams because they showed they could beat all the top teams in the league, and they did. All right. Now, what is Kawhi Leonard's biggest flaw heading to the playoffs? Um, playoffs is just around the corner, so it's not too late to talk about this. March is just around the corner. March, April, then you already know what happens in April, right? It's the end of the regular season. It's almost over. So before you know it, we be into playoff status, right? Um, back to what I was saying. Kawhi Leonard's biggest flaw is the fact that even though he's scoring 27 points a game, it's 27 points a game that comes at a very slow, and he seems like he's still not a natural born go-to scorer. Okay, he's getting used to this role. He became a number one since last year when he joined the Toronto Raptors. All right, but he's still up here a defensive-minded player. Okay, his core is still playing defense. Okay, Kawhi Leonard at his best is playing defense. So he's going to have to increase his scoring average come playoff time, and he's going to have to actually put his foot on some people's necks. He's going to have to be that guy that's gunning and, scoring. Now, he's a much improved three-point shooter. I think Kawhi Leonard, hands down, is the best player in basketball. From what I'm seeing, he comes off as the most flawless basketball player to a certain extent, okay? The reason why I say it is because his offensive game is picking up. His three-point shooting is still not that great, but it's getting better. Okay, it's growing more by the second, and he's a timely three-point shooter. He makes threes when needed. Okay, he's not some guy that's just shucking up threes, hoping they go in. And what I like about Kawhi Leonard more than any player in the league is Kawhi could pick his spots. Okay, he's the best at picking his spots and what he likes to score. The key to being a great scorer is to dictate the pace and score at certain spots that you like to score. Okay, I know this for a fact because I play basketball. And I know once I control the pace and I'm comfortable, I can score on anyone because I know what spots I like to go to. You ever see a guy play basketball and he goes, glass, he knows it's going in because he's picking his spots. He probably tried that shot over 100 times. You all right? And he mastered that shot, Kawhi Leonard, footwork is still a little iffy, okay? His dribbling ability and footwork seems to be his biggest flaws, but he's a very strong guy for his size. I mean, he could body some people in the post. He's a great post-up player. His playmaking ability is still iffy, okay? He could learn how to set up some of his teammates better. If you have him on the ball, creating the offense, not just for himself but for others, you're going to have problems. Okay, this is where I think the Clippers have a flaw too, because they need a true playmaker, a guy that can actually set up his teammates. They don't really have that too much. So that's one Achilles heel that they have on their team. All right, so not enough playmakers. If he go-to guys besides Kawhi Leonard, because Paul George he's put up good points in the playoffs. But here's the thing, he's been a first-round exit. So this whole playoff P thing don't make any sense because you're not winning. What's the point of averaging 28 points if you're going to lose? Okay, he's getting a lot of these points in they're empty stats, so to speak. Okay, they come in at the garbage moments when the game is already decided. He's just out there balling. He's going to have to learn how to be a more effective scorer and a more efficient scorer, all right, for him to be a great number two. There are two pickups. They got Reggie Jackson and they got Marquise Morris, two hot-headed guys that could get you into foul trouble and hurt your team. So somebody's going to have to check them because the problem with having too much of one thing on the team, too much dogs, so to speak, is sometimes it's a bad mix. Those guys don't get mixed up together. But with that being said, I still think their pros outweigh their cons. So come playoff time, you're going to see the best player in the world, Kawhi Leonard, do his thing. That's my prediction. Finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to keep preaching it until I see it. If I don't see it, I'll be the first one on here to tell you I was wrong, okay? Big deal. Anyway, peace.